Some of us just faster than others.
Hello. Everyone dies.
Oh, jeez. You know what? What a great Wednesday.
It's the mood I'm carrying into this today. No, okay. Well, I hope you guys are coming through.
Oh,
I mean,
cool.
I'd hope so.
Okay. Because my Stream Deck was like, nah, you don't get to have audio channels there anymore, and I was like, no, okay, cool.
I mean, I can listen in for
That's
a second.
fun. That's
Hold on.
fun.
Let me talk in my own ear for a hot minute. Where's the fucking unmute button? Where the fuck? Tell us, ad.
Tell us, ad.
You have ads. Ugh.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'm not subscribed because I'm fucking poor.
Like you, Teagan.
I use my Twitch Prime.
Yeah.
Well, not all of us have Amazon Prime, Teagan. Not all of us contribute to Bezos's unrelenting wealth.
I'm
Some
normal.
of us have morals and standards.
I don't have those. That's why I contribute to Bezos' continuing wealth. Hello, everyone. Welcome to a little bit of a side detour from our regular Wednesday night plays. I don't even know what time of week it is, so that tells you the kind of state I'm in. My name is David. I usually am the dungeon master. Today, I'm just here to hang out and vibe with some of my friends. We're going to be chatting a little bit what's going on so far with Arc 1 of Season 2, some of the things coming up, and give you, our lovely viewers, a chance to have a conversation with us, talk a little bit what's going on, and see where we're vibing at. And then at the end of all of this, I've got a really cool announcement. So we'll save that little tidbit in the back corner for a while now.
Whenever you say a cool announcement, it means I'm gonna drop some money on some shit.
I'll get out of the way. I have no new merch available yet. I can fix that.
Yeah. I have to wait till payday to buy the ones in my cart right now.
I know, mine are chilling in the cart too. I'm like, that was our next paycheck.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, once that's one of the things. Let's start there. You know, we're into season 1. We've got some amazing characters on season 2, whatever season it is. I don't know. Time's an illusion.
It's dying.
It's okay. I'm just slowly dying in real time. We're into season 2. We're having a grand old time. We're having a great play with everyone. Our characters are getting finalized, which means we have to do the most important thing of any long-running campaign, and that's get character art done.
True.
Which
wait, I'm not dressed for the occasion. But you keep on going.
Are you gonna go like put on a nice beautiful dress, get ready, take your portrait?
No, it's comfy. I'm putting on my hoodie. I don't know what you're talking about. It's a cozy stream. I don't have a campfire. This is the closest thing.
I did come prepared for that. I've got a cardigan hanging out. I'm just gonna old man this shit. Oh, there we go.
Oh,
yeah.
I mean, I'm dressed like a thotty because hoes never get cold.
I'm old. I always get cold. Yeah, I guess that's like the first big update from season 2 is now that our characters are finalized, we're in the process of finding ourselves artists that we like to do some cool art of our characters. So there's going to be some of that coming up pretty quick here. So keep your eyes peeled for an exciting time where we get some art to showcase. How's everyone feeling? How are we vibing with season 2 so far?
I'm loving it.
I hate it. We should throw it all out.
Yeah.
Get it. David,
We
start
did
over.
that once
Again.
already.
Not just
Yeah,
kidding.
I don't think I could
I'm having
emotionally
a
handle
great
that.
time.
I think we would all be emotionally
I think we'd all be
unavailable.
broken.
Speak for yourselves. I can keep going.
Ned has like 8 more characters in the back pocket.
Bitch, I've got one character that's trying to be 8 at this point.
I want to so bad, just so bad, somehow get my wisdom intelligence up to say the stuff I know what makes sense. But because I have zeros and ones and negatives, it doesn't work.
You're just the old daddy, thick daddy. You're just the thick daddy.
The thick
He just
daddy.
goes out, destroys shit and walks away.
Old daddy,
I mean,
thick
we have
daddy.
Yeah.
Do we have Scalies in the chat?
Do we have scales in the chat? I think we found
I-
the next one.
So,
Does
No.
Garrus from Mass
me.
Effect count?
Maybe.
I wouldn't say he's scaly.
I wouldn't say he's scaly. He's like, he's a featherless biped, so a man.
Very wrinkly skin. That's what
He's
they
wrinkly.
get.
It's
no.
Like, how do we get to this conversation?
No, I'm
It's
just.
very much. It's very much like you look at your elbow.
Critter
it's just
doesn't like this conversation.
It looks like he wants to go down. I'll be real
I
with
know.
you.
I know.
Maybe we put him
I don't
down
trust him. Here.
into the basket with Puppy. Oh,
I guess we'll start with the newest of our players. Blackwell, how are you enjoying hanging out with us crazy people? How's the vibe for you?
You don't have to be honest.
You can lie to
You
us.
can
It's
lie.
okay.
you can be honest.
Yes.
Lie.
Well, no, the
You
thing
can
is-
also be honest.
Well, the thing is, when I think about what I said in the beginning of the year / beginning of the year, end of last year, I put on my Twitter saying I want to be involved in more TTRPG projects. I want to be more involved in the community, things like that. Like, oh god, that goes into a deeper conversation. TLDR, for those who don't fully know, I lost my initial account on TikTok. Like, it's up, but I can't access it because it's under an old phone number. TikTok won't help me out getting it back, but because I gotta have the old phone number to get it, that's the whole thing. I'm not gonna try it. I did make a video though, like a week ago, saying how with this new account, I'm having a lot more fun. And that's because I'm not playing the game of having to make content every day, because I started making my content like fully back in, quarantine, because I didn't have to worry about anything, all intents and purposes. I was home. I got my my unemployment checks. Honestly, the most I was doing was just preparing for myself to go to university. I didn't really have anything to worry about. But multiple times during that time in quarantine, I felt myself burning out. Like I could feel myself burning out, like trying to make content constantly. And once I got to university, that was a lot harder to do because all intents and purposes, like I had classes every single day. I was a theater major and a dance minor. I don't really have time to make content. And even on the weekends, I don't got time because I have rehearsals. So trying to keep up a consistent schedule of posting like almost every day or every other day or something, not viable. And then after university, not even after, during university, I meet my now wife, and we find out that she's pregnant the day after Thanksgiving, which was a wild time because that was 2021, winter 2021.
Ooh.
So, still trying to make content and,
Right, US
stressing.
Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I was supposed to say,
Yeah.
wait a minute.
No.
Americans
Continue-
celebrate it at the
continue
wrong
your
time. It's
story.
okay.
Okay, all right, yeah.
Honestly, I don't really celebrate it, like, the meaning of it, because I'm just here
Yeah,
for
we don't do the
food.
We
celebration.
don't do
know.
the
We-
meeting.
we-
We just make a turkey and
Mhm.
we eat it.
Well,
Ooh,
Canadian
we eat the
Thanksgiving's so
food.
cooler. Like it's
Yeah.
so much cooler.
like we do salmon because I'm not a turkey person, or chicken. But
Salmon's good.
That's a whole other thing.
Anyway,
Again, so son's born. We moved down to, I'll just say it because people don't really know where I exactly live. We moved to Baltimore because that's where her family was. Well, the people that she calls her family. And from there, my son's born. Now I have a newborn. And also, I have a girlfriend at the time who's going through, everything. Like, child's been born, postpartum, all that. Got my own stuff going on. I'm with one group, and I'm consistently playing with them, like one D&D group. But as time goes by with that group, it just things just aren't working. Things just start declining with that. So I'm not making as much content. The D&D group that I was initially part of is falling apart. And then we moved down to North Carolina where the ocean steals my phone.
Oh,
where the ocean steals my phone.
bad Poseidon.
North Carolina, where the ocean
Ocean steals your phone.
Oh,
New
Without
tagline.
Literally, I still have
On the
something in
boat,
my
yeah.
head where I'm trying to get like some stuff back that we got these little digging tools for my son. the plastic digging tools that you can get at anybody's beach, like the shops that are there, they're getting swept into the ocean. I put my phone down on the ground, not really thinking about it because, my wife's just like, hey, they're going out to the sea. And I'm just like, they'll come back. But, going to go handle that. As I'm dealing with that, out of the corner of my right eye, I see the back of my phone case, right? This one in particular. And I'm like, that wasn't supposed to be there. And as I lock on fully, I see my phone as a wave comes, whoosh, whoosh, gone. And so we get the burner phone from the T-Mobile there, and they get people there constantly because they're like, it always happens. It's fine. And I'm locked out of my account. I have to make a new account. I did not know during that time that would be the most freeing thing possible. I started from zero. I didn't have the 15K that I have, but then again, what did that 15K mean when I wasn't making any kind of connections? I wasn't talking to people. I wasn't really doing anything. I was in that mind space of, I can only make content that, I'm making. I can't do duets because those videos don't do well. I can't really do stitches because those videos don't do well. I'm looking for audios for a character that I'm all intents and purposes burnt out of. I'm trying to cosplay as new characters that all intents and purposes I don't care for. So I say, you know what? I'm not going to do this no more. I'm not going to do the cosplaying thing because number one, expensive. Yo. And number two, when we moved back up to, where my parents are, I lost a lot of stuff. So I can't even do it in the first place. Now I have this new account. And with this account, I've been talking to a lot more people. I've been more active. I've been doing the things that I've been trained to do when I was in theater. You advocate for yourself. We hate to say it, we sell ourselves because that's what you do in theater. You have to sell yourself. You have to say why you're wanted, why you're needed, why you're important. Because at the end of the day, if you're not being the loudest person in the room, ain't no one really looking at you. I can say that that's also worked with me in my time as a dancer. I can't sing. I'm a damn good dancer, though. Well, I was. I'm way out of practice.
We'll change that. Triple Cat Blackwell coming at you.
If I could go back to it, trust me, I would put my whole heart and soul in it. I would put my whole dance pussy into it. Because I remember younger me back in community college. Again, I don't have the technical training. I should not be in musicals because I can't sing. But I was the strongest dancer on that goddamn stage. I literally had one of the guys there who generally does the musical theater stuff point me out out of everyone during rehearsal, like not rehearsals, but casting. No, not casting. What is it? Auditions and say, auditions and say, that's who you want to beat. That person right there, he's the one you need to look out for right now. This is a man that doesn't really give compliments that often. He's very stoic. He's very much, we do this thing, we do our job, go. So whenever he gets a compliment, everyone kind of, you take that in. For him to point me out and say that, because I already knew. Again, no technical training, can't sing. But I'm going to burn this stage up. So I'm going to do the same thing in this kind of space. Be the best that I can be. I see it if I get a ping on my phone on Discord saying, hey, can someone, yep, what you need, what's going on? Yeah, I'm available. I'm home. I'm here with the kid. And then I find a group that, all intents and purposes, greeted me with open arms. They were just like, hey, we love you here. Hey, we want you here more. Hey, we love your character. Hey, hey, can you stay here? Like, do you want a permanent spot?
Oh, no. It's not like that, Blackwell. You're stuck now.
Yeah. There is no escape.
There's no escape. We have your address. We know where you are. You leave.
Do we?
I have it.
What?
Don't ask questions, Neon. Don't ask questions.
That doesn't bother me. Y'all have my address at any point in time. But I found people who were just like, hey, yeah, we love you. We love what you do. We love your work. I'm in another group where people are just like, we love the character. We love the character and the choices that you make. It's nice feeling like I can belong someplace, because a good portion of my life, not even a good portion of my life, to this day, there's always that feeling of not wanted, not needed. No one really cares. Not going into all that. Like, just know I'm 29 year old, and my background is geeky, nerdy black kid in the hood. Anyone who knows that, you get it. So to find people at the ripe age of 29, when you've gone through so much, because even in community college and university, I thought I found a group of people. Nah, it was really only a means. I was a means to an end. But to find a group of people who are like, no, we want you here. We love you. We want you to keep doing things. To find more people to say that, and more people to say that, I can say that I've been having a good time here. I am grateful. I'm grateful that people still want me around to, play with them essentially, and it's nice.
Well, you're as everyone else said, you're stuck here. We locked the door on your way in. There's no way out. You have to chew through somebody's leg to get out.
The lock is on the inside of the door.
Me, or am I locked in with you? Because I can't.
Yes.
Yes.
Listen, I've lost the key. That's the only reason we're stuck here.
Hey, David. I don't mean to bust anyone's bubble on this, but the lock is on the inside of the door. It's just a little twist. I don't know why we're panicking.
No, it's one of those like 70s where it's like a deadbolt on like a key turn on both sides.
So the
Why
thing
did
is,
you get a doorknob from the 70s?
You find a blunt object and you keep smacking the door handle. Eventually, and then you open the door.
I would just laugh so hard if James comes down and open the door. What's happening in here?
James, it's not even locked. Shit.
It's the most cartoonish scene of close the door slowly.
Kick the door down. The door's unlocked. Oh. Can we still kick it down?
That is the most D&D though kind of situation. Just open the door. You've done everything else, and it's just like opens. Yeah, the door. There was nothing wrong, guys. The door was safe.
Can I seduce the door?
But it's nice being around people. And again, I'm 29 years old, so I grew up on I was born in that era of the internet becoming va-va-voom. That was a thing. It happened. We still live in it. I made connections online before. Made, lost. And being in that position again where it's like I made more connections. There's people here who give a damn about me. It's nice. I say all that to say, because I will say it out openly, I have not been the best. I have been going through stuff as per usual. I'm a stay-at-home dad. Granted, I found work, but still waiting to start working. Stay-at-home dad. The world is worlding. I'm not gonna go. We all know what I mean by that. The world is worlding. Surround yourself with people who legitimately are just like, yo, what you need, what's going on, what's happening. Not the people who want to help you to feel some validation for themselves, but people who are like, I'm here for you. You not gonna care what you say. What we doing? I'm not leaving. What you doing? What we doing? Where you need to go? I didn't ask you for gas money. I didn't ask you for food money. What you want? Where are we going?
Hell yeah, get the chicken wings.
Yeah.
I didn't ask you if I didn't say that this bothered me to do it. I'm doing it because I care about you. We're in that time frame where we just need community, without a shadow of a doubt, community, because we're no longer however we got to that point in time where we're just like, oh, I could thug it out on my own. We're no longer in that time. We're really not, and I don't think we're going to get back to that anytime soon. We're not going to touch on that though. If no one has said it today, someone out there probably cares about you. Send that person that message who you think probably cares about you. You never know. Someone probably does. Someone's probably like, hey, probably just thinking about you. Or if you even just send them a message, you're like, hey, I was just thinking about you. What's going on? What's happening? You probably tell them everything and they're going to be like, so when we hanging out, take a chance. You generally don't know who cares about you until you take that chance. And y'all don't got to talk about what's going on. Y'all could do whatever. Within reason and legal reasons as well. Because if I say that, then for all of us that are neurodivergent, you're one Lego piece away from doing something crazy.
Do whatever. Do whatever.
Do the thing that scares you.
No. Here's the thing. It's become one of my very, very like heart-held statements. But please take it home, share it with your friends, your family, your dog, your grandma, whatever. To fuck around is human. To find out is divine.
I love that. Yeah. Oh, we do that on our shirt.
FAFO. It's FAFO. What I said is called FAFO. Yeah, FAFO. You FAFO. Fuck around, find out. But all in all, take the chance. Respond to that message. Respond to that Discord message. Respond to that call. And hey, if that person doesn't care, there is somebody else. I can guarantee you there is somebody else that's going to give a damn just as much as you give a damn about them. And they probably give a damn more about you than you'd realize. Just give them a chance. And no point being alone with how the world is worlding right now and how our personal lives are living right now. That I know that was a lot. That was a lot for one simple question, but
it's a good example of
I'm having an existential crisis over here. Just give me a second.
But that's me as a person. I'm very much on the side of regardless, because I've always been told like, oh, one day you'll run empty. No, I care about people too much. I'll never run empty. I will find my way through bedrock, and I will find a reservoir that I will drink out of, and then I will find the people who I'm helping out to drink out of it, and we'll keep on pushing. You just got to find the right people to make you say that, though.
Absolutely.
I was just say, are we those people? Someone give me the okay. Yeah. Is that us, or are we the issue?
No, you're not the issue. Trust and believe, y'all are not the issue. I got to make because who was it? Actually, I think James knows, and I think David knows. Theo was originally supposed to be a grumpy old man. He was supposed to come in and be like, "Oh, these whippersnapper kids." No, it ended up being he's a very soft, gentle giant who's also very fabulous and gay. Very much on the side of what was it? What's the musical? Sister Act. Fabulous.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that is his
I love
theme
Sister
song.
Act.
That is probably one of his theme songs. Fabulous baby. Just going to be fabulous and glorious. And oh God, we're going to a place where all his shenanigans happen, where a good portion of his shenanigans happen. Mm-hmm. I'm excited to see what past encounters because I don't even know them.
Theo is like that old gay uncle who just shows up and be like, so I'm going to teach you some shit, but also, are you doing okay mentally and physically?
He's the gay uncle that hands you the $50 bill. You don't even know he's handing you one until later. And he's like, yeah, you do it. Like, I'll see you later. I'll see you next year. And then it's like, where did I get this 50 from?
Yeah.
It has been such a delight having Theo and you by proxy in the party. Blackwell, it's been, because you were mentioning too, you're like, oh yeah, like, I went to university for like theater and dance. And the back of my brain went, that explains it. Like, because like I also have like a background in history and like music and theater and performance, and it's like you can tell somebody who has been like trained for performance and has put the time in to sit in a classroom and have somebody talk to you about how to perform. And it has been such a delight being able to sit back and like just let everyone here just go for a while, and to have like you around as like this driving investigative force to like pull little bits of character information out of all of us, and it's been delicious.
I think my favorite thing about having Theo and you by extension Blackwell around is it gives us a unique opportunity to talk about season 1 in an entirely different way.
Oh,
so
yeah.
anyone else comes in and like it joins, it's like, oh yeah, we have to explain that because a player at the table doesn't understand that reference, so we have to like sneak things in.
Yeah.
Like the skyship captain.
Yeah.
I love being like, yeah, I was like, okay, I'm gonna bring him back. I was like, what was his description? Oh, right, he was wearing like board shorts and a Hawaiian shirt that's always unbuttoned. This is his nephew. And I was like,
yeah.
When I saw that, I was like, you son of a bitch.
I'm like, I know this from somewhere.
I was just like, oh, it's just like, oh no. We stole your
Watch.
uncle's ship.
We didn't steal it.
He was
I
knocked
didn't
down
go,
in the basement.
no, you
He
listen
let us
here.
drive. Okay.
You listen here, okay? We did not steal that ship.
We stole it.
He was too drunk to drive. We
You
put him in the
abused.
hold to get a good rest, and we drove to the location that was predetermined. He knew we were going there.
We also
We
went
didn't
on,
steal shit.
we also told him in the last minute because he was drinking and said, "You need to pick
Okay,
us up right
hey,
fucking now because we
hey,
lit
hey,
a town
geek.
on fire."
Geek, here's what's gonna happen. Is we're gonna go out. You're gonna get drunk, and I'm
I
gonna
don't
go,
do
"Hey,
that."
geek, I'm gonna drive you home." And then I'm gonna drive you in your car to your home, and then I will leave. Did I steal your car? No, I didn't. I drove you home. Dumbass. Stop
I
calling
think
it
there was at a
stealing.
certain point we were talking about maybe we should just make this boat our boat.
No, we never
No.
said that. We talked about
He did
hiring him
say-
on as like a ferryman for us, and like
Yeah,
having him as our
yeah.
on call.
Oh,
And he
yeah,
said,
so
"Yeah,
that
just call me."
message-
And we called him. He just happened to be at a party at the time.
And he was so down for the adventure. He was like, yeah, sure, why not?
I think when we landed and like we got off the boat, he's like, "Cool, we're back."
He was just there for a good time, and every single time you guys provided that.
Yeah.
He was just there for the ride. He said, "Adventure,
Literally.
adventure, bet."
And Sophia had proficiency in boat.
I don't even remember how that came
Yeah.
about.
I think you got like
No-
that 20 or
no
something.
clue.
It just became. I think
I
it was
don't.
like
I don't even.
you piloted something. I remember because you were piloting and you were like, "I would like to pilot the boat," and David said, "Roll me." And you got a nat 20. And he's like, "Now you are proficient in boat." You're like, "Cool,
In boat.
in boat,
Yeah.
Yeah.
best boat."
It was animal handling.
know.
I made you roll animal handling, and you rolled a nat
Yeah.
20, and I was like, yeah, sure, you're just proficient in boat.
There's actually an ability in D&D too, where you have the ability to steer ships and other aircraft. I think that's a feat. Well, it might be a-
Vehicle.
It's vehicle
Oh, man.
proficiency,
Yeah.
which is I think what you were intending to provide in that moment. But you just
probably.
went a boat, and so I went cool. So on Sophia's character sheet it says in proficiencies it says boat.
Which I love.
The amount of stuff in these campaign stories, for the record, that are just like it's a misspeak because like ADHD brain not work right, mouth too fast, brain not quick enough, or vice versa. I don't know. Like the group of socialist unionist goblins. Like I was like,
Love
yeah.
them.
yeah.
Yes.
And it's like, and now I'm like, yeah, goblins are just all like that's in my lore building. I had to like rewrite an entire section of the master book that's just like goblins, according to like Jonathan Krieg, who writes the book, is like, yeah, all goblins turned out to be like pro-union, and so he's like a big fan of goblins. There's like an entire love story basically about like how great goblins are because Jonathan Krieg is a raging socialist, and he's
Yeah.
just like, yeah,
I
goblins are
love-
the best.
I love the social philosopher Gob Marx. He's
And
great.
The crazy thing is, to get there, we had to go in peacefully. We started that encounter with sneaking in, and then
Yeah.
feature me with the voice of God being like, "Hello,"
I am the
Yes.
mountain.
and then all it took was Theo to just fuck up his stuff, bro, because this man ain't got no
And then,
stuff.
and then it's just me just being super stealthy, and then all Theo turn around. "So why are you still hiding?" And Nyx is like, "Come on!" It's like
I think, honestly, like that moment and the Goblin Union is such a like testament to the success of failure.
Yes.
Because like I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go talk to those goblins, knowing full well that future me has a -1 in charisma. Like I'm not good at talking to people and like convincing them of things. It's not future me's thing. And I was like, yeah,
we're from
and
the
of course I'm
Union.
gonna fail at I'm gonna set myself up for failure because it's gonna be way more interesting than successfully being like, I'm the voice of the mountain. Like, of course it was you're not the voice of the mountain. Yeah, I'm from the Union. Like of course it's like failure is such an interesting and like great thing to have in your game.
Mhm.
And like it just I love it every single time. I think I sent out a tweet not but like maybe last week, talking about like the free fall of collective storytelling and how amazing it is. And like I think that's definitely a moment of it where like we all kind of got to like sit in on this weird funny situation and created something that was hilarious, that is fundamentally part of the world now and will be forever.
Got to meet Boop, Snoot, and God,
Oh
what
my
is the rest
god,
of
the
their name?
Cobalt Doctor.
Scritch. Scratch?
Hold on. I'll pull their names up real quick here because I've got it written down.
They're my favorite NPCs
Yes.
now. I don't care. I'm just like, they're my favorite.
Honestly, every kobold David has ever made has been my favorite NPC.
Yeah,
Uh,
Can we
remember
meet
Red,
them
Blue?
when they're? Can we meet them when they're all stacked on top of each other in a trench coat?
You mean in a doctor's coat?
Yes. Sorry, doctor's coat.
Beaker, Skip, and Boop. And the important thing about that is there is actually illegally in his name a pause. Boop. It is written down as ellipses Boop.
I love that.
I love Boop.
God.
Oh.
But no, it's like choosing that moment of we choose peace. And that's the characters I build, because this is my current thing in D&D and TTRPGs in general. A lot of people like to choose the very brooding characters. Like they got a character that's brooding. That's fine. All the characters are broody though in the party. Oh my God. Someone please just smile. Not sarcastically, like genuinely smile. And so I bring characters in who bring that life. I like making characters who have that sense of joy, that sense of freedom, that sense of I just want to go out and adventure. I want to see the world do things. Sage, is one of my favorite characters that I made. He's like a young adult, I would say like fresh into like college, like fresh into university. Not the smartest though, but he wants to see the world. He's going to stumble and bumble his way through because he doesn't have the social graces of everyone else, but he wants to go on an adventure. He wants to see things. He's going to be friendly towards everyone. I like making friendly characters because while yes, some people will say they put themselves in stupid situations or they'll get made fun of a lot, you don't get these kind of stories when everyone's just broody and ready to chop someone's head off or not interact with someone or wants to, be 5 feet away from each other at all times. You gotta have that heart of the party. I was talking to a friend. I'm not going to name drop them at the moment because they'll probably be like, why the hell did you do that? And they mentioned that to me about, the group that I left. There was no heart of the party. Like, you need the heart of the party to keep everyone together. You need that person who's going to be like that. Well, actually, to keep everyone in line, you need that person who's going to front load everyone to say, move forward, don't turn your head this way, turn it that way, forward, to keep everyone on track. It also gives the DM a less of a headache of, oh my God, I'm hurting cats. Oh my God, I'm hurting guinea pigs, better yet. Because cats may listen to you. Guinea pigs, anything of the rodent family will stare at you
and then run away.
No, and then run away. They'll squeak and hit the meters of 50-yard dash like they're Usain Bolt that way. And it's like, why?
See, I'll say this. All our party from this one is a complete 180 of what we played last in season 1.
Oh yeah.
So in season 1, I was that character. Her name was Skiletta. Her whole thing was make a list of friends. We had a friend counter of how much friends Ski could make, and like was making friends with monsters. And they're like, why? Because he's cute. No, Ski. And we had Sophia, who was the cleric, who was always like the mother of the
preacher.
group.
Important distinction.
Sorry, preacher, who was the mother of the group, but also committed chaos, which would just kill us in laughter, sending messages to people just to fuck with them. Made it hilarious. We had Colt. Colt was amazing. Colt was also like the one where it was like, Ski and Colt didn't know much about common, so we would just sit there and be like, we don't understand what's going on. There was one conversation where we asked each other, what's a sugar daddy? And that went on a whole tangent.
I'm sorry, that was the best conversation of that.
And Ski just was like, so we need a sugar daddy? And Sophia was just like, I am going to murder whoever told her this word.
Yeah.
And then
And
we
can
had
Colt
Hart.
be your sugar daddy?
Yeah.
Or his dad?
Yeah, is Colt a sugar daddy? No, Ski. And then we had Hearts. Hearts was our mysterious card player, but also the really good Southern Heart, like Hearts.
Yeah,
being a
like
heart.
Southern Belle Sweetheart.
Southern
yeah.
Belle Sweetheart. So we are playing 180 of characters. Because when I was coming into this campaign, I said, and I quote, okay, I had fun playing the funny, fun-loving character. I'm going to go serious. Well, you know what? That just went down the drain. Nyx is a joke, which I love. I'm not doing this in a place of anger or anything. I love it. How Nyx is sneaking around and then he just gets called out for it. And he's just like, well, fuck. Like, he's the angstiest teen. We all made playlists. And, like, if you go into Nyx's playlist, it's all angst you grew up with. Like just Animal I Become, like all the angsty songs you can find. I threw that on the list, so he's just like an angsty teen just walking around.
I think like as like having been the character that was the moody one of a party, I think you need a moody character, somebody who like differentiates the tone, and like all of you had a period in the last campaign where you played that really, really well. In your own unique ways, right? And I think that's been the part that's played really well in season 2 so far, has been like, I wouldn't say it's necessarily like moody, but there's so much more innocence and not buried in this party.
Yeah, I think. Oh gosh, no, continue.
No,
David.
it's really fun to watch. You know, last campaign you guys heaped a lot of like praise on me, but realistically this entire world that we're now playing is shaped on the actions you guys took in the last campaign and are currently taking, and it's been really fun to discover my own world alongside all of you through the lens of the characters you've created.
Yeah,
There's like
Absolutely.
3 NPCs I want to run back into from season 1.
You've made it
Stay
very
with me.
clear.
We need Tazzy. Where the hell is Tazzy? Where
Yeah.
is that boy? We need to find him. There's that one. I want to find out what happened with all the, because we touched base on this, but we didn't go into deep with it, and I'm hoping we go deeper into this this season. Is the Lost? Like, like the Lost. David, would you like to describe the Lost to Blackwell? Because this is one of my favorite kind of creatures.
Yes.
So Lost are people that wandered into the frontier, and were effectively consumed by the frontier. And the longer they spent time out there, the wild and chaos of the region slowly like corrupts the body, and their limbs begin to distend, and they grow, and then they take on an animalistic appearance. So the one that you guys met, what did you call him?
Frederick.
Yeah, you named him Frederick.
I named him Frederick. I want to see Frederick again. Where's the boy? We made him a suit. We made him a hat.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Sure, he's chilling somewhere.
one of the things about Lost is they lose their mind. They become feral entities. Frederick, it was revealed in very briefly in season 1, is Jonathan Krieg's father. So Jonathan Krieg's father slowly went insane out in the frontier, and Jonathan Krieg managed to find a way to keep him sane. So there's this horrific, like 8-foot tall, stretched out limbs. Like the flesh is kind of clinging to it, necrotic, and he's got deer antlers growing out of his head. Just horrific, kind of like if Hollywood's depiction of Wendigos was remotely accurate to the lore. That's kind of the best way you can think about Lost. So they're known as these horrible, monstrous creatures, but this one's semi-sentient, so it's still like smart enough to know how to like do tasks and like, you know, take care of itself, and kind of vaguely remembered that it was once a person. So yeah, like they made him clothes. And every time they would talk about it, they'd go, oh yeah, we ran into a Lost, and he's our best friend, and we sent him letters, and everyone was always like, every character they ran into told this. It was like, you ran into a what?
Yeah.
What?
Frederick was awesome. I think Ski and him were pen pals for a bit. Like, I'm gonna send Frederick a letter. Ski, can you write? I am learning how to write.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was
the
an
main-
entire like plot point, was you learned how to write
Yeah.
to send Frederick letters.
Yeah.
Yeah. You learned common for Frederick.
For Frederick.
Adorable. I'm gonna have fun with that. I got some stuff for you, David, because Theo's background is not fully fleshed out. You have what he currently has. Yeah, it's gonna be fun. I'm gonna just take that, and yeah, I got plans, I got schemes, I got things I gotta do.
Mm-hmm. I will say, like, from my end too, between like the 2 seasons, it's been so nice to jump from a character that is so like steeped in like activism and like political activism to like the laws of man don't matter, man.
It's true. It's a 180 from your last character.
It's a
which I'm
total
loving.
180, which has been so much fun to play, but like it's also not lost like that tab of seriousness that Sophia always had. Just because, like, hell, I'll tell the everyone here and to the people out there, even I don't quite know what's going on with future me. I kind of handed David like the amnesia slate and went, here you go.
David's
give
like,
her.
I have a full 8 pages of what has happened.
And like I'll go in and I'll like write a few things here and there as like these little like floating dream-like memories, and David will contribute back and forth, and it's like I don't like it's another one of those free fall things for me. I love existing in that free fall. My background exists in improv. And so like having that, like I don't even know. I kind of know, but I don't even. And like linking back to the I couldn't remember the word for the thing, and now it's just kind of ingrained in the world. Touching back on it was one of the earlier episodes, and don't think I missed it, David. Don't think I missed it. Is I misspoke in the creation of future me, and I was like, oh yeah, like probably some like elven wizard or something, and I completely forgot that elves aren't called elves in this world, and David grabbed it and made it a thing, and now I'm like, oh shit, that was just like an ADHD like the thing that they're called, but they're functionally this. It's like, oh no, that's different now, and puts my character at like a way lot older than who knows even I'm like, oh god.
Oh, I know.
This just reminds me, I really need to give David my backstory. I haven't done that yet. I've been writing it. I haven't sent it in yet. I just keep on adding stuff. I'm like, ooh, this would be nice. And I'm like, Allison, just send it in already.
The thing that's always great about like from a Logomancy media perspective, one of the things we focus on is the element of, you know, let's always be telling creative stories, right? Monday nights are an opportunity for us to tell like a lot of creative stories. Like they're playing Daggerheart recently, and we've played a whole bunch of really cool games throughout the years. And there's always this like rotating thing that's gone through. Forever ago, Riley did an entire game in like, you know, set in a very different like steampunk world that was a whole lot of fun to play in. And we've always had these opportunities to play, but like one of the elements we've kind of missed is that long-term gameplay opportunity that comes with the chance to really flesh out what these characters are like. And the nicety of it is that now we're at this point where we really get to develop them and play with them, but it's kind of nice. Like a lot of DMs want to know everything. They want an opportunity to like control and manipulate and change things as they need. I love that you guys are like, oh, I want to incorporate this into my character and I'm playing with this element. And as the characters grow and you as players grow side by side along them, they change ever so slightly. And that gives me an opportunity to always like change a little bit about how I want the storyline to align. The entire arc of this campaign is very vaguely mapped out. In the like most minimal of senses is mapped out. There's a starting point and there's an ending point, and if when we reach the ending point, that's the end of the campaign. It will take a while to get there, and everything in between has like story beats I kind of want to hit as we build these characters. Like I know how I want to incorporate future me's story into it. I'm very excited for Theo's wife to show up, and you know, wreck hell, and just these like the little elements of like Alice's character and Nyx's character and all these little like tiny details that exist in the background that are very nebulous right now, but as the party starts to like talk about them and they start to kind of coalesce together, it really starts to stretch out like how pieces, where they end up falling and where the actual like story beats need to happen to kind of get to where we need to go. I did this a lot in season 1, you know, the entire thing with James McAllister, right? Like that was one of those campaign settings that was like set up. It was like, this is going to happen. I just need to make the flow to this point. Like where does it make sense to put this specific story beat? Where does that connection and that vibe and that feeling really come together? And because it's unresolved, James McAllister is still out in the world somewhere. And that is as you as players know he exists.
Oh, he's gonna be gone shortly.
Oh,
I
actually look. I'll be real with everyone in the room. Due to the events that happened in season 1, I am actually really okay with James McAllister being around.
Yeah.
Do you want to know the thing?
Yeah.
He funded her schooling after all. That's all I'm gonna say.
Oh,
That's actually kind of sweet.
Because
now I gotta meet this person.
Yeah, so
he's not a good guy. He's a bad guy.
He's a bad man.
For those of us new to the show and to Blackwell who's new to being on the show, James McAllister was kind of a crime lord, undercity antagonist that we had, who had kind of kidnapped one of the party members' kids forever ago and was raising her. Yes.
And then
Daughter.
His son, whatever.
Kidnapped.
Yes, the son of the crime lord kidnapped the character's daughter.
Yeah.
And he was kind of raising the daughter as his like granddaughter, as a heir to the throne, because his son was kind of a dickbag. And it was one of those things where like, as a character and as a player, it was one of those like, okay, this is the bad guy. And then we showed up and he was like talking about things. And honestly, like half the time I was like, damn, I kind of just want to ask if he legitimately cares about this kid, because it sounds like he does.
Yeah.
He did.
More than the player's father.
Yeah, like when he was just like, oh, he cares. And I'm just like, I don't want to be that asshole, to be honest.
It's kind of
it's like one of those like, oh, like let me fund like her things, let me take care of her, let me pay for her stuff, because I like have the financial means and know how to like do that. And I was like, damn, that actually, like, you can be a shitty guy but do good things sometimes, you know?
Yeah.
I think that what makes a good villain. I say that in the sense of, I'm gonna use BG3 as an example. You got Minfra, right? Minfra trips you up so many times in the things that she says because she's lawful evil, right? I'm gonna use the example. Baldur's Gate 3 has been out long enough. I'm sorry, this is a spoiler.
Well, wait, one moment. David, did you see the message?
Yes, I did.
Okay, all right, perfect. Continue.
When you get to Baldur's Gate, finally, like in Act 3, Minfra will look around and be like, "Why are there people outside of the city?" And you think that she's saying like, "Oh, they should be inside." No, you forget she is a drow. She is nobility as well, and she's lawful evil. You think she's going to be like, oh no, they should be in, they should be sheltered. No. She's like, they should be inside working and earn the right to live in the city. They should be used as guards. And then, you know, if time comes and they earn their keep, they can own like a small little house somewhere. And it's just like, you want to be like, she's right. You really want to say you're on her side, but it's like, you're going down a path I cannot follow. And that's what makes a good villain, where you have to sit there and say, I want to like you so bad, but I can't rock with you.
Yeah.
I can't rock with you.
Damn, that sucks, because me and Minthar are best friends.
But she's cool. Like, she says these things that make you say she cares. Lawful evil. She's caring in a lawful sense, but is also in the sense of, oh, right, exploiting people, still doing things that cause harm to people, right.
Oh shit! Right, you're the bad guy. I have to remember.
Yeah.
You know,
but that what's makes.
Yeah. Sorry, no, go for it. You can finish your statement.
But that's what makes bad guys good, like good characters, and that's what also makes good guys good characters, where they have something in them that makes you say, you sure about that, buddy? Because all intents and purposes, we all read comic books and things like that. I'm gonna use Iron Man for example. Man's, for a good brick, and probably still does, has a drinking problem, but he's this great scientist, he's this great engineer, all intents and purposes. He makes these great machines and needs to put the whiskey down. Truly, like, he has a whole arc with that, and but you want to sit there and root for him. If a character's all totality good, outside of Tanjiro and Deku, you can't, don't touch my baby boys. They are they are perfect.
They're
If a
good.
character is all totality good, it kind of leaves them two-dimensional. It kind of doesn't leave a lot of wiggle room. I get it. Kind of goes back to this thing of you got to traumatize your character a little bit, but same time, you traumatize them too much, bro. Come on, this doesn't make sense. At a certain point, it just doesn't make sense for them to kind of be like, "Yeah, I'm good," when they're one Lego piece from going to the dark side very fast, very quickly, and next thing you know, it's like we're playing a whole other game, y'all. You're chasing after this person.
You were gonna say Neon.
Oh, I forgot. I stopped the train at the station, and then I went, "It's rude to interrupt," and I let the train go.
Happens, but no, like it's Blackwell's 100% right when it comes to storytelling. One of the things I try to aspire as a dungeon master is to give all of you a villain worth your character. You know, James McAllister was meant to be a foil of the player character that he was against, right? That was the idea, right? He was a doting grandfather. He was this man who cared deeply, but he's also evil. He had an entire city basically like under his continual watch
And control.
and control.
And we lit it on fire.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah, we did light it
Yeah.
on fire.
Right, like so like he wasn't meant to be a good guy. He was meant to have redeeming qualities.
Mhm.
And that's always one of those elements that like that's as a dungeon master, and something that like you guys will be forced to deal with as time goes on, right? Is there's always that opportunity where like your characters are going to have to ask themselves important questions. Like really important questions. And it's going to be hard. I know we're only done arc 1, but there's going to be times where you have to sit there and like genuinely think about what comes next. What's the real answer to this question? And that's going to be like, I think it's like the fun of these characters, like traumatizing them. No, not necessarily. Like I'm not here to be like, yeah, your character's going to suffer. Get on
David,
your
you
knees
always
and
make-
pray to God because he will ignore you and you will suffer. Like I'm not here for that kind of like hard torture.
Praying does not increase your chances of survival.
But as you're, as a dungeon master and hanging out with you guys and getting to tell your stories, it means like I'm gonna put if you give me a piece of information that's like, oh, this is an element in my character's story that's like a key note. Okay, that's gonna be a story beat. Then you're gonna have to deal with it.
Oh, that is a good.
We have a question from Hawk.
Ooh.
Via Destined Moon. He says he wants to know your strategy for maintaining continuity in a campaign.
So I have 3 places all of my information is recorded. I have a Google Drive, which is like the master document of everything. I have a Notion document that like is for like quick notes and stuff like that. And then I have just the fact that sometimes I sit and listen to my own episodes back, or I think of like a story beat that comes up and I kind of like maintain it. The other element too, this is my like secret DM trick. Every single person in the party is an unreliable narrator, and you are watching the story through their eyes.
I like that.
So there's an element to there's like what is happening, what is shown on screen, what is shown to the characters, what the characters do, how they react to that information, how it's gauged. That doesn't necessarily mean they're right. And there even like already there have been times things have been like said or done where I've gone and I've made a note of what you guys believe against like the reality of a situation, and I have just let that go. And I did it in season 1 too. I did it several times. The beauty of it is like there's this kind of like belief that exists with a lot of dungeon masters of there's a story I'm trying to tell, and then there's a story that like the players want to tell, and they're at odds with each other, right? There's a lot of DMs that treat the game like that, and there's a lot of people who give the advice of, oh, it's a collaborative storytelling. DMs just have to give up all the control and kind of give in. Well, sometimes both things can be true at the same time. I can tell the beautiful story that I've semi-crafted. I can work collaboratively with my players to do it, And the reality is, everything they tell you is not necessarily 100% the reality of the world around them. Patrick Rothfuss does this really, really well. As to steal like one of like an amazing literary. If you have not read the first 2 books of the Kingkiller Chronicles, like go do it. I don't know if there's going to be a 3rd book, so like don't hold out hope, but like go read the first 2 because everything is told from the perspective of Quoth, and that means all the details we receive in the story don't always have to 100% match actual continuity, because Quoth is the one telling the story, and he's the one narrating it, and he's the one dictating what happened. But every single thing, when he's telling the story to the chronicler who's recording the story down, is told in first-person view, and is told from like, oh, this is what I did, this is how I felt, this is what I saw. And then there's third person when they're outside of that, where like things do get questioned. So the kind of fun element of that as a DM is I get to say like 2 things shown on screen at the same time can be true. They don't necessarily have to be a lie, but there's what you and the players believe, and there's what's happening behind the screen. And the real fun is the fact that those 2 stories get to be told side by side to each other, and they get to exist. There are entire ripple effects that happened from season 1 that changed the entire course of the world that happened. They're small, they're tiny, they're little like tweaks that exist that the players never would have known about because they were so inconsequential at the time. But by the time this event's taking place, everything from here is going on. Those effects have taken grip strongly. The fact you're flying on a skyship right now is the result of one of those events.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so that's it's a very convoluted answer. It seems like kind of a cheap answer, but like I have 2 sides of notes realistically. Is the short answer to that. There's what has happened on screen, and there's what is actually happening, and the 2 of them sit beautifully next to each other and could never be coherently told at once. Like this would make a terrible movie because there would be no way to do what we have done collaboratively together and the story we have told without like breaking that separation that needs to exist for it to be fun to play, if that makes sense. I hope that answered Hawk's question.
I think because this is something I've been talking about heavy a lot. Because every now and again in our spheres, we always get to that conversation, like you said, who's running the show essentially at the table. I am always been a firm believer that is a twofold thing. You got your dungeon master, and you got your players. If you're a dungeon master without players, you're writing a book.
Mm-hmm.
Straight up, you're writing a book. If you got players without a dungeon master, you're playing a game of improv with no referee. And that can get bad real fast, real quick in a hurry. Because it's always yes and, but no one's really there to say no. No one's there to say pause. In all of TTRPG, not just D&D, TTRPG in general, it's collaborative. You all are telling a story together. And I'm a firm believer of the DM has laid out like, the foundation. They built up this work of the story, like you mentioned. And sure, you can have things that you definitely are going to happen. Like this event in the story will happen. One way or another, you're going to get there because that's like a check mark to say, this is what's going on. This is the next big event. It's now getting there. And while you're getting there, 20,000 billion things are going on. And as we've all mentioned, ADHD brain, we say something out of pocket. Half the stuff I say with Theo just comes out of thin air. The fact that he is a whole, well, he holds another area. It just happened. The fact that he's married, though, just something that I said. The fact that he crashed the airship was just things that we just said. And then the dungeon master literally takes all that and says, yeah, give me that. I'm going to do something with this. Thank you very much. And then you get more story. I've never liked the idea that dungeon master versus players or players versus dungeon master, because it's like y'all need each other. This is coming from the theater background as well. You need your director and you need your actors, but more importantly, you need your stage manager to also wrangle these little these guinea pigs, these little hamsters, because they're not cats. Cats will at least do sometimes what you want. Again, guinea pigs and hamsters will look at you square in your face and be like, quick, and dash out.
Yeah.
I had this
They
actually
are
happen to me.
So
this-
unappreciated.
Yeah, this weekend we were playing. My friends are getting really into D&D, which is great because they're like, "We want you to come in as a player," and I'm like, "Yes, broken character, let's go." I didn't, but we were playing, and they're playing by the books, and of course the books, everybody's read them. They have like, oh, they can do this, and this happens, this happens, and we just decided we didn't even know anything in the book. We said, let's light the whole camp on fire. The guy who's DMing for like the first time looked at it, it's like, it's not in the book how I should reply. And I'm like, and this is how you DM. Go.
Yeah.
You just run and you keep running. And it's a game of improv of yes and yes and yes and yes and. But there's always that forgotten rule that you can say no. The player
No,
DM can say no, and again, but, and then you go somewhere else.
Oh,
Yeah.
Or it can just be straight up no, and then it's like, now you got to figure out something else, which is even more fun because now you got to start thinking of other possibilities, other things. And then you get to the big event that the DM had already planned out. Or the big event may have changed a little because of the things that you've done. But either way, you got to the big event. And then you get to the next big event that changed because of the things that you've done. You, the player, and you, the DM, are intertwined together. You are constantly talking. If one side is talking, the other side is not engaging, you got a problem. Vice versa as well. If both sides are talking, but no one's listening, you got a problem. But if one side is talking, the other one's like, I see what you did there. How about this as well? Or, I like that. Or how about you have a conversation? This is a collaborative game that requires a lot of conversation, but I hate to say it, some people lack conversational skills, but that's a whole other conversation in general. But overall, work with your players, have a plan, be ready for your plans to go up in smoke, but know that you got these things you want to get to. And then when you get to season 2 of your campaign, all right, what kind of mess did we get into? Ooh, it's gonna be fun.
This didn't happen, so then this is the effect of that.
The other thing too is like a lot of people, my biggest problem with books, like the books that are published material, and the reason I don't think like, you know, the conversations always come up is I'll probably release at some point to our audience the Frontier Adventures like core campaign setting, how the world works, how all the materials work. But there's probably not going to be a campaign to go along with it because I hate linear kind of like this happens, then this happens, then this happens, then this happens. Everything for me is a web. So like if I did produce one, the campaign book would be bigger than the actual book because it'd be like, oh, your players did this. Turn to page 36 and that's going to tell you where you should start taking them from this direction because people are like you kind of have a rough idea of like where people are going to go, what kind of like direction they're going to wiggle themselves into. And you can kind of adjust for that and play for it and you can have a little bit of fun. The other thing too is like some players like to read the campaign material and they're like, oh, I know what's going to happen next. Actually, James and I forever ago did a day with kids with special needs and their parents. They wanted to play Dungeons and Dragons, so we made some pre-made character sheets. We said, hey, you know, come show up for this game, and we're gonna run part of this campaign module together. And one of the moms had run for her 2 boys, tried to run the campaign for them, so they knew like what was supposed to happen, and so they got to a beat and they're like, oh, there's gonna be this many enemies and this is gonna happen. I went, actually no, this is what happens. And they're like, they were all thrown off and they're like, what do you mean? I was like, oh, I've changed the rules. I've flipped that coin and now we're gonna play a slightly different game to what you were expecting, and we're gonna change some of the mechanics on you. And like to Blackwell's point, the point of the DM is to wrangle the cats. I wouldn't say you guys are hamsters. I'd say you're cats. You don't always want to kind of go where you do. Sometimes you're hamsters and you do the double flip bird and jump off the cliff. But
What do you mean? I've never once done that. Never once have I done that.
Or get out the window at Mach 5 speed.
Yeah, you're in your little hamster ball rolling near the top of the stairs and you go piss the dog off and get. But yeah, like it's you sometimes it is wrangling cats, but the fun of that is it's a two-way street. Dungeon masters, our job as much as it is to wrangle the cats is also to make sure the cats have a fun environment to play in. You give all the crinkle toys, you make everything exciting, maybe you give them a character they want to romance, depends on what kind of game people want to play. And I think that's an element that gets missed from people, is just like either it's too combative or it's too collaborative, and they kind of miss that there's that like middle ground where like you're playing tug of war, and neither of you's really trying to win the tug of war. You're just trying to like make the flag go across as many times as you can, and sometimes like players switch sides because they want to pull on the D. They're like, oh, I want to follow the DM story. Oh, just kidding. Actually, I want to make it more difficult. It makes it fun. It makes it interesting, and that element of like playing against each other but for the same end goal is what really makes things interesting. And then telling it as a web and kind of like planning rough ideas of where you want to go is really interesting, and it brings everything together and lets you move into opportunities like, say, for example, you change players partway through and you can still kind of like work with how that all fits together and bring it to tell a good story without having to dominate it. Because like I don't know, we probably all watch actual plays on Twitch where it's the dungeon master talking for 20 minutes straight, and then the players go, I rolled a 20, and they go, this is what happens, and they've got one viewer and they don't understand why. I'm not throwing shade. What are you talking about?
Look, we're addressing something that happens within our community.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
You're not wrong, because sorry, you're talking.
No, it's all good.
This is something I can go deep diving in, but you're talking.
The flip side of that is
David,
where,
I rolled a 20.
the flip side though, that is where like you've got 4 players talking and you've got a DM doing this. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Right? Like it's not from an actual play perspective, it's boring, but from like even a gameplay perspective, like eventually you just kind of lose the plot. And I think that's a beautiful balance the 4 of you and I have struck. And soon to be, if I can really quickly on Twitch, change to say, oh, that's way too zoomed in. I want to zoom that out more. We're gonna go soon to be 5.
Yeah.
We
we have a name now. We have a name. We
Yeah.
weren't even told the name.
Yeah, that's my exciting news.
I love everyone's like superhero alias name. It's phenomenal. Like Theodore Blade is like a fucking phenomenal like superhero alias name. And then Lucy Livingstone, phenomenal. That's a fucking Peter Parker right there.
Yeah.
Or future me is also like
It's just
God,
so
I
comic
think-
booky, and I love it.
I nothing will please me more than I think we had an interaction in our like player Discord where I think it was you and me, Teagan, and I was like, you were like saying something about future me, and I was like, God, what fucking like pretentious asshole names their character future me?
that was all of us, because I texted future, like I was talking about future me, and then Teagan was like, wait, your character? I was like, no, future me. And then you texted, what pretentious
asshole named their character future me. And then I think Teagan responded with like I'm sure it was just like a placeholder thing that you just kind of ended up, and I was like, no, this was the intention.
Yeah, it was like maybe it's just a placeholder until you figured it out.
I think my favorite thing is like everyone here is so phenomenal at like writing like their character and creating good hooks for each other and like playing off each other. And I think it's something that David was really like, you were touching on it a lot around like we've hit this good balance of like give and take and like push and pull between players and dungeon master, but even like each other as players and interacting with the world as well, there's so much like, okay, like I see your offer, I'm gonna take it. Okay, I see your offer, I'm gonna take that. I see your offer, I'm gonna take that. Right? Like even like this last episode, Theo coming in and being like, yeah, I see the offer of my party member kind of scattered around, I'm gonna choose this hook and we're gonna pull on that, and then we're gonna offer another hook at the end of it to Alice to go talk to someone else, right? Or even like just after that scene of like, I was like, oh yeah, like future me sitting there and has a drink, and like that was a hook, and like, yeah, actually I want to take that hook. And it's one of those like fun things of like each person here is offering and grabbing and taking and exchanging scene power and like scene importance, and it's so good.
And that's something that sorry.
I was just gonna add on to that, like even like Allison and me, like Nyx offering her the book, it was like a tiny little hook, but she's like, yes, I will take this. Let's try and figure you out more. Maybe this is one way to do it.
That's why there's written in the book. I was like, I'm gonna leave a little crumb, a little
crumb,
little crumb. But no, I love
And
it
like,
because we have that with like Theo and Nyx's relationship. You're gonna have to open up at some point. No, future me. What was the last book you read? Like, I'm just like distracting, bringing in me to come in and talk.
Like, you are the leader. No, I'm not.
No,
you
when
are.
was this decided?
It's just funny because it's like you're trying to distract the old man. Listen, he may have a negative in his intelligence, but he got some wisdom. He ain't that. He a little touched. He a little special, but he ain't that stupid.
I may be dumb, but I'm not stupid.
I love that.
Yes.
I may be dumb, but I'm not stupid. I want that as a shirt, actually.
That came out of my mouth while I was driving the other day. I made a bad decision, and the driver behind me made a worse decision.
And you're like, I'm not.
And I was
that
like,
person.
I may be dumb, but you're stupid.
But honestly, that scene where Theo was basically presented with his 3 now party members, I saw that like my brain literally went into video game mode because we're playing a tabletop RPG role-playing game. It's downtime. Who you want to talk to? Who you want to build a relationship with? And so when I heard what Alice was doing and what Nyx was doing, that's why I wanted to see what future me was doing. Because I was like, before I make a choice, what are my options? Who would be the most interesting person to go up and talk to? I'm gonna go talk to Alice. Because I know if I talk to Nyx, it's gonna be funny. But I'm looking for development. I want to see something. If I talk to future me, we got what we got with future me, which was
a lot. We have more questions than answers.
My end goal is to have all questions, no answers. Oops, all questions.
It's like playing the game of
Teagan!
Yes.
playing the game of who am I? And
Well,
you
moon's
open up that
slacking.
book.
Well, I don't
Yeah.
have any water, so I'm just gonna have some whiskey.
And that's one of like the fun things too. Like I was touching on it earlier. Like even I as a player, when you ask like future me, like who are you? The genuine question is, I don't know.
That's why I love Future Me.
Yeah.
Future Me could be anybody. Future Me could just be like, so I was a garbage man in my past life.
But
Yeah, like-
it could be anyone because we saw future me literally take their face off, put another face
Put another
on,
one
Can
on.
we
recalibrate
also-
it, and next thing you know, boop, there's a whole like moving face.
Yeah.
And-
I want to put people's characters are so fleshed out, like style wise, that it's so easy to actually see them like do that. So like when Neon was talking about like, oh, her legs switch and everything, and it's like hind legs and everything. I saw that when Theo's wings came out for the first time. You could see that, and you could see that epic moment of him just like getting down, like sword raised, and just whoosh. Like I can see Alice like with the steam just pouring off, like in like the rain. Like we were talking about how she was overheating, and you just like the rain hit it, and the steam was coming off. Like I can picture everybody's just perfectly, and it's amazing because we have such strong characters in this campaign. And to be honest, I loved last campaign. It was good. It was season 1 was good. I am loving season 2 more because we're taking it seriously, yes, but we're also having fun with our characters. Like future me just talking like would be like, they came out different. What the fuck you mean by that? Wait. Like that
Different.
line is so cold, but I love
that
it.
line.
Like
The
every
amount
time
of
you say it, it's like,
cold moments future me
oh.
had too. Like, sorry, like you were still talking.
Yeah, no, go
Oh,
for
no,
it.
no, go.
Like the amount of cold moments future
Oh.
me had, from going down into the jail cell and dropping the coins into the jail cell and then using a gravity spell on our prisoner and saying, was it worth it? Was the 3 coins worth their lives? To then sending a message to the paladin saying, try again, bitch.
Like I love future me. I love
It's-
future me. It's
Oh,
so
God,
great.
yeah.
And I love Alice is very like sweet and innocent, but you know there's something hidden behind that. You
Like,
know
good.
that. You
Good.
gotta
It's a-
figure it out.
It's a perfect contrast because
I-
you got future me who's like, it's like they're serious to the point where it's funny. But then you got Alice who gives this very innocent, childlike energy, but they're both conceptually like they're machines. What is going on? And then you got Nyx and
it's- oh.
Theo.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
something that continues to like surprise and astound me with like Alice and future me. It's like we both sat down and created the same like core concept, which is like robot that's trying to find its way in the world, and like what is the identity of something that is a product fundamentally. And it's such an interesting, like the two approaches that we have taken have led us in like completely different bisecting directions.
Yeah.
And it's been so much fun to like watch it play out because yeah, like future me is so just like silly at times, but everything, despite being detached from reality in certain ways, has a purpose. We had to investigate a bakery. Future me made cinnamon rolls because
The
how
best.
how do you best investigate an area than to use it for its purpose and find out what's not in place, right? Like retracing somebody else's steps, and like even like the cold moments of the jail cell, like was it worth it? But the other part of that was you are in control of infinite versions of yourself. Choose a better one, be a better one, become a better one. And that ties back into the conversation that Theo and Future Me had, where Future Me was talking about how you as a mortal with a life have a continuous flow of time perception. I experience it all at once and also not at all. It's the difference between watching frames of an animation spin to create movement versus looking at each frame individually as stills. It's such a cool like, oh yeah, this is such a cool like concept and like this brainy thing that I've been like working on with David, and like everyone here has contributed in some way to that and how that plays out. And it's such a cool contrast to Alice's like so human and so grounded in like being a person and being a being first and then being something else, like finding self, finding soul, and then finding your own dream versus being a dream and trying to find a soul in a personage. And I love it.
It's beautiful seeing the antithesis of each character and how we all are kind of like antithesis in varying ways. I'm not going to say anything that me and David have been planning, scheming, plotting, and behind the scenes, but I definitely know like that moment where future me came up to Theo saying, I had a dream, a memory, and them having that moment of learning how to wield a sword. And just brain keeps saying, like, I know future me has had multiple lives. I know it. They're from a different timeline. They were put into a machine. I know it. In the heart of hearts, I know it. But Theo can't say this because he doesn't have the stats for it.
It's just like you fight good.
But it's just like there are things that make our characters look at each other and say, what? Specifically, I remember future me looking at Theo and saying, these are not myths. This is hard fact.
Yeah.
But on God, in Theo's mind, I ain't seen them. Not really. And it's interesting to see those interactions, because it's like, how do you get along with someone who doesn't really believe in the things you believe? Like, you got someone who has facts on facts on facts, and then you got this person who looks at you like, I see your facts. Yeet. I don't care about them.
Yeet.
Mhm.
Yeah, I found that in a way, like Colton from season 1 and Alice, they're similar but also very different at the same time. Because Colt had been, he grew up with like the
Colt
noble
had
background.
one robotic arm, and Alice is a robot.
Yes, that too.
She upgraded.
Like,
Upgrades, everyone.
It's actually just
Upgrades.
Colt again.
Different.
she's different. But like he's interacted with like tons of people, and he was trying to find out like the man that he wanted to be, and forget like the expectations of others. Whereas Alice, she knows what she is. She's been around like constantly 6 people only in her life, and she knows even less about the world than Colt ever did. And then this secret she has that she has to keep on top of all that is interesting dynamic I'm playing with.
Mhm. And I think even like it's one of those things where like Nyx, geekier character, I love Nyx so much for like a number of reasons, one of which is definitely the like when we get there, you're Sophia's kid.
Shit! No! Holy shit, you're right!
Wait, who's Sophia?
Sophia was my player character from the last game.
Oh my god, they
And
would be.
one of the big questions that Sophia was asking was like, what does a person have to do to make up for something that they've done wrong? One of the major character points for Sophia was that she had like a trunk full of bullet casings that all had inscribed names or descriptors of people that were either she felt guilty for their death, killed them herself, or just genuinely inconvenienced in a major way. Burning down the bank. That's not only anyone who was in the bank, but also like every single person who was put out by that crime. And Sophia throughout the game was trying to find out like, what is the worth of one human life? What do I do to make this better, to be a better person, to atone for sin? Just throwing in some of my religious trauma, why not? And Nyx is in a situation where you're asking a very similar question.
It's very
like, what do I
similar,
have to
but
do?
the opposite. So there's
Yeah.
things that I can't say about Nyx, but Nyx is the exact opposite of Sophia, which is they are very things like Sophia's like, what do I have to do? Nyx did it. Like he is shouldering it. And so he's going to shoulder it and he ain't gonna break.
Yeah.
Give Theo some time.
Theo can no. Yeah, so
But, like-
to be honest, Sophia did help. When I was looking at character building, I was looking at Sophia's character and I was looking at all our characters. And there were elements of Sophia's character that I loved, and I loved the bullet casings. It was art. It was gorgeous. And so maybe when I was building it, maybe subconsciously, I did take a little bit from Sophia. And so that I'm gonna say thank you for that, Neon.
No problem. I love you, babe. Keep
I love you
working.
too. So
I love my
I guess-
contemporaries.
Hey, we birthed a child. His name is Nyx. He has a lot of angst. I'm so sorry.
I'm your I'm your favorite D&D player's favorite D&D player. Step up.
You know what? I think canonically, Nyx would probably be a fire sign because of the amount of angst that they got.
It's more like he chooses to have that angst. He made a persona, and he's gonna stay to that persona, and he won't break. That's
Definitely
his
a Leo.
persona.
Is definitely a Leo. He's a Leo.
Yeah. Absolutely, but it's one of those like fun things as like the person who played that character and then watching Nyx and like you play Nyx is such a fun like yes, because like at the core there is still that question around like guilt and redemption and like what do you do to keep yourself safe and sane and like what do you do to sell yourself this thing? How many times do you have to say something to yourself before you believe it?
Moon, no.
And it's
Moon, no.
I mean, you know, there's some like sodium and
Yeah. People can transmute their dogs with their kids. It's a huge thing.
Yeah.
look, man. All I'm saying is that for every girl with cat ears out there, there is a cat with human ears,
Jesus.
which is honestly the funniest mental image.
That
Right?
is- it's yes, but at the same time, kind of disturbing. Dude,
Point.
like branch off of that. Yeah, I noticed that there's some Sophia things that like happen. Just like with Alice, I see some ski things.
Yeah.
Sometimes, like
Mhm.
like she'll be so innocent. I'm like, oh,
You're like, I would like that once.
that was my character. And even with like future me, I see like some of like Heart's stuff. Like Heart's like the very like quiet, the very like, oh, but I'll tell you some info, but other than that, I'm gonna just be like I see it.
I have been sitting on like with future me. I created future me specifically to address my weakness as an actor and as a player, which is my ADHD brain wants to pull on every single hook that's ever presented ever. Ooh, shiny, give it to me now. But then I made future me and I was like, I need this character. Like this, I made this character to be something of a side character who has the wisdom and the knowledge to see things, but is a little bit too distant to say anything at all times. And I'm going to create space for myself to step back out of a scene and sit back and let my fellow players just like pull on the hooks on their own instead of me going, ooh, shiny, ooh, shiny, ooh, shiny. Yeah.
And
Like a
Leon,
little fucking monkey.
I still drag you into it. I still make
this
sure
is
I'm
true.
like,
But like,
come on.
it's always like so rewarding too. Because like, yeah, I know it's something that like, oh God, I am so bad for it. I see a shiny thing and I go, give it to me now. Instant gratification. But like there are certain things that like I actively I was like, I'm not gonna touch this one. I'm gonna let it play out and I'm gonna be in the background. I'm gonna choose to just watch it happen. Like the hot spring scene. I loved the hot spring scene.
Oh, that was awesome.
Where you guys like found the guy bleeding out. We're like trying to find a way to like deal with him. And I was like, actually, I'm just in the hot spring. I've decided that I'm just having a rest in the hot spring.
We
and
almost
I'm
just
stepping
left
back
him
from this
too.
Yeah.
We almost left.
And I think that's a testament to players and DM communication. Sometimes as a DM, you got to look at your players and say, y'all didn't check the room. Like, please check the room.
We
Like,
did it. We were like, oh, nothing here. Time to go. And he's just
Yeah.
like you
check
stepped,
the room.
you just stepped in there. Go check inside the room. And also another testament as players to look at ourselves, like to yourself as a player and say, you know, I took up a lot of screen time last episode. I'm a chill today. I'm a chill today. And letting other people have those moments. I think in general in our sphere, in our community, we get a lot of the bad apples, the bad stories of what players shouldn't do and what DM shouldn't do and what you should not. But we don't talk about what you can and what you should. Yes, have those glorious moments of, I'm gonna go grab the shiny thing. Like, you shouldn't go grab the shiny thing. Yes, I am. My character literally sees the shiny thing and they are taking it. They're pushing the button that the DM clearly laid out for us to say, this is going to cause some kind of crazy reaction. I don't know what it is, but it's going to happen. Do the thing. And then next session, hey, I did a lot of stuff. All right, I'm gonna just chill. I'm gonna relax. From the DM perspective, all right, my players are going around and around and around. Hey, here's the thing. Here's the thing that you need. Go get it. Or straight up just say, hey guys, I like the role play. Can we move on? Because a DM I have did that with us. He's like, hey guys, I like the role play, but I don't know if the audience wants to go on for another 45 minutes with the same thing. We got other stuff to do. Here's your objectives currently. Like, here are your objectives. And I love that. It wasn't rude or anything. It was straight up just like, here's your objectives. Please pick one. And
I think
go.
we did that with the sugar daddy conversation. I think at a certain point, David.
Yeah, we had to shut that one down because god damn it, you could just keep going forever.
It was one of the things. And then David's just like, so how about we move on? And we're like, yes, the divine intervention of God has said that we must move on, so we shall.
Like, I see y'all having fun. However, move. Like, come here, guinea pig. Picks up, put over here into the other pin. Get on the wheel. Get on the wheel.
That's part of the reason to have like good safety tools.
Even safety tools are.
You don't realize that it's
Yeah.
gone on like a long time because you're having fun, but if someone else has, and they're like, we kind of need to move on with the story. This is funny, but we need to move on.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And
I will say too, like since we're on the topic, like from a player perspective, anytime you sit down with a group to play, not only are you playing, but you're learning. And if you can't sit down and be like retrospective about how you're playing with others and like what you're putting in and how others are putting in, how it's affecting you and how you're affecting it, you're not present. Like D&D is fun. You should be sitting down to play and have fun. That's ultimately the goal. But at the end of the day, if you're not taking time to reflect and go, oh, yeah, no, I absolutely steamrolled a little bit of that because I got really excited about XYZ scene and I got to step back for a second. Right? Like, then you're not improving yourself as like a person. Because at the end of the day, like, this is all play, but you're learning skills here.
Mm-hmm.
Team building skills, communication skills, teamwork skills. Like, self-reflection should always be a constant at the game table and away from it. So, sit down, play your game, and then take a minute afterwards and go, hey, what did I do that was really fucking cool? What did my co-players do that was really fucking cool? What did I do? Could I have done something better or cool or different? I mean, the answer is always going to be yes. We all live with constant regrets. Except for those of us who get the no regrets tattoos that are always spelt wrong. I don't think they live with regrets.
Regrets.
They do live with ragrets though.
Damn regrets.
But like being aware and like pushing to improve is so important. No matter what aspect of your life you're like in. You don't got to be the best. You just got to take a little step forward every time.
Trust me. Like, sometimes you are the best in a way that you're not supposed to be. There's no form of way or reason Nyx should have been able to pick that person up better than Theo. There's no rhyme or reason why
Theo would like to pick up the person. Funk.
I'm gonna try again, and it's just like the dice said no. There's no rhyme or reason, something magical base that Theo has no backing on. None. He might now though, because of the stuff we've done. But no magical base that he has, nat 20. And it's just like, I understand this. While the two primary magical casters in our party are like, I don't get this. It's those funny moments of just, you take something and say, yeah, we're going to run with this, run with it. Okay, we're done running with it. Because there comes a moment in time where you just have to look at yourself and say, all right, stop. It's okay to just hit the stop button. You can hit pause and then later down the line come back to it. Because again, you're playing with other people. Respect your fellow cast members, essentially. Like in theater, respect your fellow cast members. Don't shine yourself, but don't do something that ends up harming them.
Mm-hmm. You're not the moon, you're a star.
I like that one.
Yeah.
I do like that too.
On that note, it is 9:21 and I am fading on you all. Because unfortunately I'm still sick and a little low on energy.
Unfortunate for you.
Yeah, I want to
Did
give
you
you
get Pedialife?
no, I made my own. I will let you into a deep lore David secret. I was a cadet when I was young. This isn't the deep lore part of it, but one of the things that you learn in the cadet program is you will eventually find yourself in a not anymore because kids are weak. You find yourself in a place called Penhold, and Penhold is close to Red Deer, in the middle of nowhere, and it is hot. Or it's a swamp. There's no in between. You are either in 30 degrees or 15 degrees and like ankle deep mud. No in between. And there's nothing around. And what they would do there is when you would like occasionally get sick, because everyone gets sick when you pack a bunch of children into a single place together, with air AC units that are cranked all the way to the top, recirculating air in that space, is they would hand you 50% water, 50% orange juice, and as much salt as the nurse could convince to dissolve in that mixture at the time, and they would hand it to you and go, drink. It tastes exactly as awful as it sounds like in your head, but it works. Every single time it works.
Oh no,
It kicks the shit out of Pedialyte in every way, shape, and form. And then you are like, I don't want to be sick anymore. And your body's like, agreed, champ.
No more of that.
Talk about putting a caustic bomb in your body to tell it to act right.
I mean, to be fair, the solution in my family for I feel like I'm gonna vomit was a tablespoon of white vinegar.
Oh,
Straight. Just induce the vomiting.
Yeah, it would either settle your stomach or you'd throw up and get it over with.
Yeah, fair enough.
that both sound awful. So, I'm like, are you torturing people? Like the salt with the orange and the water and the full spoonful of vinegar?
I mean, if it violates the Geneva Convention, it probably was used at some point.
If it violates the Geneva Convention, it was Canadian.
Yeah.
I mean,
You're not wrong.
air cadets are weird, so.
You're not wrong. Oh no.
I just realized that makes me another part of the diversity cast. I'm American.
That's true.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
We added an American to the group. We were like, oh, we gotta help some of the people from the poor countries out. You know,
Alright,
get them.
we got a hydrate from Moon.
Oh, I'm at a water moon.
I also ran out of water, Moon. You're a little late.
I'm
I still
drinking
have-
whiskey.
I still have your special water, Moon.
We don't talk about it here.
Okay, so we are gonna send some love. We're gonna send you guys over to somebody who we never usually get a raid because they're usually ending their show as we go, and I love an opportunity to send some love their way. Mostly from the fact.
I love Moon.
You, Moon.
Thank you, Moon.
I don't know when you said that. What? No, what?
Oh, hey, Casters and Castles.
Oh, they're awesome.
Yes, we're gonna raid over to Castles and Castles. They're an amazing group. Our returning player next week, where we'll be back in the real game world, is also occasionally hanging out with them and doing some really awesome stuff. So I recommend checking them out, hanging out with them. They are going to stop broadcasting in about 20 minutes here when they move over to their after show chat time, so take some time to hang out with them and get to know them a little bit better. Last but not least, those of you who hung out with us this entire time, if you want to show some support, you can always just tune in and watch us. That's the best way to do it. But of course, you can buy merch if you want some physical things. I promise I'm wearing merch, trying to show it off. And last but not least, use your Twitch Prime subs on us if you have them. Other than that, everyone, thank you for hanging out with us, having a wonderful fireside chat to my amazing players. And we will see you all next Wednesday when I'm less plaggy. Goodbye.
Hopefully.
Don't forget,
Bye.
pandas start out the size.